Okay, it's interesting. I mean, this is at least a little bit interesting. Right now, it's a quite a decent Phantom Lancer game. The thing is, though, you are gonna go up against Core Tiny, so he is gonna be able to potentially at some point deal with this. But I just feel like their two supports are they're very static. The AA and the Phoenix, and you're not able to make many plays. Of course, the Void Spirit can kind of make up for that, but
Also, Chaos Knight, I want to say it's looked a bit wonky when we've seen it recently. Obviously, it has some
mhm.
tweaks, especially around Phantasm. It feels a bit more enabled to farm now than it previously did. But I feel like, usually when you've got that big booster like a Magnus, that's when I look at this pick and go, damn, it's unstoppable. Uh,
Yeah.
Something we
Speaking
won't
of,
see
he is
here.
still in the pool.
Do you think
He
there's
might.
room?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm just not really a huge fan of what they have going right now. I think the CK maybe it's interesting, but I'm not sure how good it's gonna be. I
The
feel
lane's
like when
strong
you
though,
have this
right?
last pick, the lane is definitely not bad. CK is, there's definitely some kill threat there. Just not sure if you're gonna be able to go through the Fade Bolt and the Boars and the Beastmaster. Yeah, we'll see.
Especially with the Rupert there as well. Like the reduced damage is just a big variable. We'll see an anti-mage ban out from 5 men. They definitely think this is a Shad hero coming up. It makes sense as well, actually. If we were to break down drafts for Vikin, they do often leave Shad's hero till last, right? Boom
Hmm.
usually has these more flexible heroes that can be picked early in the
Boom
in the
doesn't need
draft.
last pick, man. He's
Nah,
he's better than that.
he'll beat your ass without it. He proved that last game. Actually,
You
no,
don't
that
need no
was a
last
final
pick.
pick invoker. Yeah, he'll beat your ass anyway. That's He's got a giant tree.
Yeah,
Look, would you want to
he
mess with this
doesn't
guy?
need. I mean, he doesn't need last pick, but if he gets it, of course he's gonna beat you. I mean, which we saw in the last game, but
Mhm.
he doesn't need it. He can still beat you without it.
I mean, let's be honest, right? If we're thinking of who's the scariest looking hero here, it's probably CK. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
with the knowledge that we know, the one that is actually the scariest, but he
The
just doesn't look
knowledge
it,
that we know.
that
Okay,
we
so
know,
it's not the knowledge that we don't know. No,
exactly.
good.
Because
Thank you
knowledge is
for
power,
clarifying.
and power is everything. Tiny is the scariest.
Yeah, so they do actually ban out this Magnus, so they are a little bit afraid of that Magnus CK combo.
Yeah, it seems like the most obvious thing 5 men can slot in right now, right? And they've proven they like getting the Magnus.
Yeah, just I feel like this final pick for 5 men is not that easy. They're kind of lacking a lot of things here. They have no wave clear. They do not have. I mean, they have some physical damage in terms of CK, but their other heroes do not have any physical damage. They have. I don't know, not that great team fight. I just feel like there are a lot of holes in their draft right now. So I'm
So why
eager to
not
know
be?
about this last pick.
So why not put the biggest hole of all in that draft and just pick Enigma?
Yes. No, that sounds like a great idea into Rubik Beastmaster. Let's see it.
I mean, it's just you kind of have to like tickle it a bit because right now there isn't really many, if any, heroes that can fill all the issues they've got this day. Like it's not bad. Pangolier is not terrible, but I feel like there's a lot of work for this voice spirit to do because he has to be your primary initiator now, 100%. And
Okay,
maybe
so
he bounces
Pangolin.
back because like that's the thing. There's gonna be a chessy voice spirit, right? And this is always the discussion. If a player has a really bad game, it depends on the player and the circumstances. If you give them an easy lane to win, they could just like feel this necessity to bounce back and take control of the game.
Yeah, and I kind of like this gyro here. I think this is gonna be pretty tough. I think for 5 men, maybe they can do really well in their lanes, and maybe the Pango surprises. Who knows? I just feel like I just like kind of the lineup here from Viking. I think
Mm.
it's a very fast playing lineup. You can play all over the map. Tiny can go on solo missions. He can get joined by the Rubik. You can have Gyro Wisp play. They can play on their own. I mean, you can set up all sorts of rotations, like with almost any combination of these heroes. 2 or 3 heroes you can play. You can play all over the map, and you have great scalability and also great pushing power. And I just like what I'm seeing here from Viking.
Yeah, it's simple, right? Like the Viking are very good at doing this.
Hmm.
They just when you look at the 5 heroes at the end, there isn't really this gap or this like, oh, that looked like it was a block pick, or that pick looks a bit funky and you got banned out in the next phase. It just all comes together cleanly. Whereas 5-men's, like I can see the individual kind of synergies, right? With like AA and Chaos Knight. Like Phoenix plus Pangolier, like Phoenix can offset the aggression so Pango's earlier levels don't hurt as much. But then I'm trying to imagine the team fight together. And it feels like if you don't win the lanes as 5-men, you're not going to win the game.
If you're not winning the fights as 5, you're not winning the game.
No, if you don't win the lanes.
If you don't win the lanes,
Yeah.
you mean as 5-men?
As 5-men, yeah. If you don't win the
Yeah,
lanes, you
I
ain't win the
think
games.
I think they have to do at least kind of well. I think the CK has to have at least a decent lane. Like if they're losing this beast lane, I think we're gonna see a similar, like what we saw earlier against the was it unique versus bait. I think we could see something similar there if the beast gets off to a really good start. Then they could be in a lot of trouble. The CK here. But yeah, if they do well in their lanes, potentially we could see something. I mean, if the Pango gets off to a good start, I think this could be a good Pango game because it's gonna be a while. Like only Gyro is pretty much the one buying kind of an early BKB,
Yeah.
so Pango could be quite a big nuisance.
Oh man, can I just say that I can't believe I'm saying I kind of miss Gyro. It's good to see a Gyro game. You don't get to see him much anymore.
I mean, I love Gyro. I feel like this
Of course
hero
you
is.
do.
I mean, Gyro I think is such a great hero because this hero has it can scale quite well. It's not this tier 1 hero. I mean, of course, with rapiers and stuff, you can fight, but in a straight 1v1 kind of carry to carry hero, it's not the best. But you have strong team fighting, and you're a strong laner, and you get to play the game with this hero, right? Like this hero can make rotations and set up fights, and it's just it has so many tools. I think that's why it's such a nice hero.
Yeah,
It lets you play the game early on as well. So
he has these interesting transitions is how I like to look at it, right? It's like you think in most carries, they'll have a stun or they'll have a like farm accelerant and they'll kind of just lean into the physical damage the whole time. Whereas Gyro is this hero that you go into the mid game, it's like if you would have a breakdown of magical to physical damage, it very much still stays magical for quite a lot of the game. But because of flat cannon alone, he has this ability to convert into a right clicking carry.
yeah, exactly. He just has it all.
Yeah,
What more is there to say?
And I love his voice lines as well. I love the one that Shad chose on the way in.
Get off my lawn!
See? What's not to love about this hero? God damn it.
Get off my
Get
lawn!
off my lawn!
Get off my lawn!
I'm getting too old for this shit. I love that that's actually a line. You know when you're like, Dota is the grown-ups game because we swear. Literally in our game, we swear. And then League of Legends is... Actually, I don't think League of Legends has any blood or swearing or anything mature.
Intentional. It looked intentional.
All right, so it looks like
There's
we're
no
ready to go.
swearing. There's no swearing. You said.
Yeah, I don't like. So, for example, in this game, there's literal voice lines where there's swearing. You've got like blood everywhere when a PA crits someone, whatever. I don't think League has either of those things. I've never seen it.
Right. Yeah. So interesting here is gonna be just the CKAA against Rubik Beasts. I mean, I gotta favor the Beast here. He even brought this Ring of Protection. Like Beast's armor nowadays is not what it once was, but Fade Bolt will negate some of CK's damage. And yeah, they should be okay here, I think. Once they get to level 3 on Beastmaster. Them double bores.
Yeah, you know what's gonna happen, right? There's gonna be that cold feet into the stun.
Highlight die? What are you doing, Pi?
Luckily, getting a 2-second stun from Ace that'll allow him to walk away.
They're gonna take quite a bit of damage here.
I think if you walk back in this, you might be in trouble. Although Chessie is arriving, so it should work.
Is coming in
What
here.
is this RNG right now? 2-second stuns twice. And we'll allow them to kill off Aramis and get first blood on Chessie in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's I think it's quite important that you actually give that first blood over to the Void Spirit if you can, because when you make that rotation, you might lose out on the first creep or two. Then you want some sort of compensation for it. Fortunately for him, it seems like he's not gonna really miss out on anything. He's gonna come to the lane with some extra gold.
And that can get you quickly to that bottle. You can already see it's got queued up and he's only 25 gold short. So it'll be very hard for Tiny to kind of do that typical thing we see in the Void Spirit Tiny matchup, right? Where you just avalanche toss and then, you know, you've burnt your mana. You won't ever kill the Void Spirit, but he can never make a move onto you.
Yeah, I mean, he already has this bottle flying out to him right now. The Tiny's also gonna have his bottle. He went for this very fast bottle build.
But that's the crap fight. Have you seen the good fight?
Misery going down to mid against the overcharged IO there. Interesting.
Oh, what a fun hero IO is. 320 movement speed, by the way. Who needs boots?
Yeah, why is he 320? I don't know.
I don't know. Let's just give him meme numbers. Why not 420? Yeah, this hero is a little
And
bit
a very nice
ridiculous,
pull there. I mean, Sibba, he tries to go for this pull, but you just get rocketed, and Celery just pulls the wave into it and hits him with his... I'm really enjoying like watching this overcharge IO on level 1.
It's so good.
I mean, it's actually very strong.
And the bracer as well. I just love this. He's like, yo, so usually you tether to your lane and partner, but I ain't about that life. I'm my own individual IO, okay? I don't need no man in a gyrocopter.
Yeah, I mean, Celery, he knows what he's doing. He's not a pushover.
Nope. Spams the crap out of this hero. I mean, you know, usually goes for his helmet dominant. He's used to carrying his IO, actually.
That's what it is.
You just see him queue up the helmet dom in a sec. It's like, uh-huh. We know. Mid looking really good for Chessie, though. That quick rush into the bottle, getting it so quickly, has definitely helped him. 15-3 to the 9-0. And as I talk about that, bot lane Beastmaster's the one going down.
They might actually get more here.
Oh my god.
2 seconds stun again.
Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Aramis is just thumping the keyboard right about now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking this also. He went for this Wraith Band build on CK, which is kind of nice. He gets this extra attack speed. CK kind of struggles a little bit with otherwise, and some armor in the lane, so good adaptation there. He's even going in for a second one, it seems.
Yeah, he hasn't actually felt pressured at all, so it'd be interesting to see if he bothers with the early point Chaos Strike. Like, I'd imagine...
Yeah, he has the 1
on
point.
3. Yeah, there
He's
it
got
is.
the
He leveled it
1-1-1.
now. Yeah, the builds are kind of switched around since they changed Chaos Strike from being reliable, right? Like, it used to be that skill was so valuable.
I think this is kind of like, this is the start of the 5-man need if they're gonna be taking this game, or, you know, have a good chance at doing so.
Yeah, because now they put themselves in a position where, like, this bot lane that we were expecting to be really strong for Vikin gets a little bit wonky, because you're going to be slow to that free, and that's really so crucial on a Beastmaster with those level 2 boars.
Yeah. In this top lane, they're kind of just trading farm. They're 4 denies on Gyro versus the 0 on Pango, but they're both at 18 CS, while Gyro just now getting a few more. Pango claiming some of them neutrals. He's gonna get a pretty quick Javelin here, this Pango. He's only 300 gold away.
Pretty decent
With
this
the
lane.
Javelin and the Orb of Venom, he could look to pressure this a little bit.
Yeah. Like, this, it's pretty feasible to hit both these heroes, and they're going to be close enough together that the Swashbuckle through will connect. I'm just going to keep watching this. His Celery, is it 2 points in overcharge? Nah, if he's gone 2 in Tether. Boo.
Boom.
Boo. Why even level Tether? Come on.
Boom. Is the mid player of their team.
See, it's boo into because I'm going, this ain't looking good as a start for Tiny. The walk of shame. Luckily, his hero doesn't care about 6.
Misery here might have to dive out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about this one, dog.
He still might be in.
Nah, they don't have overcharge. I know what you're thinking. You're like, whoa, I with the right click.
No balls.
No one. You don't need balls, okay? You need to roid rage.
Need. I don't know, but you know, definitely.
Oh. By default, they need to kill and boom. So they rotate bot, they find one,
Ace?
and look at this. Jesse's coming in.
Jesse, the level 6.
Yep,
Void
Ace is
Spirit.
getting the lifesteal pretty regularly here as well, so he's able to move away. Toby
He could
cannot
maybe
finish
even
the
turn
skill.
here.
They don't have
He
Astral
could have-
Step.
He could probably have turned there. I think he could have manned up with the 3 points and Chaos Strike. Jesse though, he's not done yet.
He's done now.
Yeah, now he's done.
He's like, ah, yes. Cooldowns.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the net worth, Jesse's net worth. He's almost 1,000 gold up on Boom, and with that early first blood, he's just had this great laning stage, and he's off to a very good start, and already a 1k lead for 5 men here.
I mean, this is the thing that I was curious about, right? Because I highlight a little bit in the draft is, when you have these bad games, like your mentality has to be, nah, I feel like I screwed up, so I'm gonna make up for it in this one. Chelsea's definitely doing that as they immediately kill Toby as soon as he gets back.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt the beast. He didn't actually. I think he didn't even run there. I mean, he didn't port there, so
Yeah.
he actually looked like he ran. So he's gonna have his port up, so he's gonna come back at least. But now it's pretty scary because Chaos Knight is 6. I'm not sure if he's gonna actually skill his ult yet because he doesn't have that much mana. But no, he does, and it's also it's quite cheap now.
Yeah, it's
the
really
ultimate.
cheap.
So yeah, I mean the beast could be in a lot of trouble here. Like one Chaos Bolt into CK ult and Cold Feet, and I think that's just a dead Beastmaster.
Yeah, there's not
Toby
really
has
much
to
a
really be
Rubik
careful
can
now.
do to stop that either, right? Like Firebolt will reduce the damage a bit, but I mean,
Yeah.
CK already hits pretty hard as it is.
Yeah, I mean you can try to lift and place the lift on some of the illusions so that you stun them, but
Yeah, that's
it's not
very
easy.
short duration telekinesis. Let's look on the other side of the map right now. I mean, Pangolin, Seabait has got the Javelin now, so I feel like the pressure that's being applied to him for this is going to be alleviated at this stage. Misery has actually
Yeah,
managed to find a
he's
decent
making
amount of
his way.
XP.
Yeah, I mean Xib is making his way towards this level 6. I think once he gets this level 6,
Ooh,
oh, Pi.
killing AA. But Toby, he's going to go down.
There it is. Yeah, and I mean you're gonna take that trade anytime. Like
And Pango. Well, we were waiting. We thought maybe Xiba would just get 6 without any issues, but Shad wasn't having it. And that was without the cooldown.
yeah, now Shad is finding kind of his footing in this lane properly, and Xib is gonna come back. He is gonna get his 6 quite soon, so there might be some plays maybe onto this gyro. However, if the IO is with the gyro, I think it's very difficult. And Misery actually has just abandoned this top lane, and he rotated towards bottom, and yeah, he's
Misery's
gonna
just
sit here
like,
and pull.
I only support winners, bro. I hear this bot lane is the hot she is right now. It's the place to be.
Xib could maybe with his next swashbuckle, if he procs, he could potentially try to go on this. Although there is an IO rotating in now, so
Yeah, and you'd also need the disarm proc as well as, like, say, at least 2 javelin procs.
yeah. And Jesse opted to go for treads this game, so not something we see very often, I think, on White Spirit, but
No, it's usually the phase boost because
I
it's so good with the astral step, but it feels like he's going to get the extra hits in. And Boom's feeling those hits right now. They're going to bring him low to simulate to get him almost over the edge. One more hit would do it, but Jesse cannot close the deal.
yeah, it's super close there.
Tiny fun hero. Tiny tanky hero. He's only getting 10 extra armor from Grow.
Tiny big tank.
Tiny health, not so tiny.
Where is Boom going? Okay, he's just going to pick up a tree before he goes to Vikin. I was just like, I was looking at his like trajectory, and I was just like, that's not the fountain. I'm pretty sure. See, I've
You
been
just
there a
check
few
the
times
patch
myself.
though. It's like, whoa, have they changed this? Yo, have you
Yeah,
never
and one
done
thing
that as a
that's
kid?
one thing
though?
that's kind of concerning for, I would say, Viking is the fact that Toby is level 4.
Yeah, it's
he's
gonna
level
be
4
bad.
and also bottom net worth of his team, even lower than both the Io and the Rubik. He needs to find a new home, and he needs to find it fast. He needs to get to his level 6. I mean, this is not going to be one of those Beastmasters pushing towers or doing anything. This is going to be one of these catching up Beastmaster. I mean, he's getting doubled in levels from the CK here, so
Yeah, who are you gonna really
a very
see
good
here?
start for 5 men, I would say.
They
There
bring
is
Boom
a
down here.
Chad farming though.
Yes. And they have been stacking for him as well, so he's getting a big influx of juicy creeps. Already almost has his Yasha completed.
Yeah, and Io is quite close to getting level 6.
On
Shiba
Thunder.
though going in.
Cannot.
he doesn't go for the bottom lane.
Oh no.
That's not what he wanted to do, I think.
Maybe he only just got his driving license, you know?
I think that might be the case, yes. They're gonna steal some stacks here. I don't know if they stack themselves.
I think Toby's not recovering. Definitely not recovering
Toby
health.
is in trouble.
Maybe he was in trouble. Now he's...
However,
It's kinda
Ace down in the bottom lane. Relocate.
Looking good. Bringing him low. We already used the Phantasm and it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, and that is like that's definitely the hero that they want to be killing right now. I mean, either Jesse or Ace. Ace being level 9 already, so he does give up a lot of XP. And Celery is off to also a very good start, not just the gyrocopter. I mean, this is gonna be one quick mech on this IO.
Yeah, it's like it's the buffs to stack gold, right? Like the amount you get as a support now, you really start to feel it. And when you got a hero that can easily take those early stacks like a gyrocopter, like this is where this combo could potentially start to become a thing again.
Yeah, and finally Toby does get his 6, so he now has that roar available. But this is gonna be one gimpy Beastmaster.
I'm getting this feeling we're gonna see one of those primal roar and run away moments.
Yeah, I
Very
mean,
soon.
pretty much. He's just gonna be a primal roar and then look at people, or just be an aura.
Yeah, it's the you yelling "Don't touch me" at the other person, strolling off. Booms, I feel like he's really slowed down there. I mean, the gap between him and Jesse, we already knew it was, noticeable, but this blink
Yeah, he
time is
has
going to
been
feel wonky.
he's been a bit active, but he also, I think he felt that he had to give away his mid lane to Toby, because Toby couldn't really sit in the bottom lane, so made the decision that, yeah, he might tank a little bit of, he might not get that much gold, but at least Toby's gonna get some levels, and those are some much needed levels, so
I think there was a tiny bit of a pagering from Toby.
there might have been some pig.
Well,
Toby, once again, might be in
right now,
trouble
he's like,
here.
please help me. That's the primal roar and run away. But don't
Jesse,
worry,
though.
someone's here to take over. As they move in, they have to commit to the egg first, but the Spade Bolt does get the kill on the Jesse. And 5-man, they got too cocky. They were like, this kill was so simple earlier. How's it got reached this point? When the reload
Yeah,
in,
they
Pylai
definitely-
Do. Oh no. Not like Pylai Do. Please don't do this.
Yeah, and that's quite a lot of their advantage just kind of thrown out the window there. Jesse just jumps in, gets roared, and tanks another rocket, and then he's pretty much just dead to a Fade Bolt. And yeah, the egg just easily gets killed by the IO and the gyro there. And now it's back to killing and clearing these stacks.
Life is simple for a gyrocopter.
Yeah, I mean, Shad is having the time of his life, farming the 3 camps at the same time. That's such a good feeling.
I mean, not just for him. Just close your eyes and imagine the chinging of change into Celery's pocket. As Boom is killed in the mid lane. We even got distracted by the stacks. I mean, who wants to watch a tiny die when you know the gyro is getting more money?
He's getting them monies.
It's really important that 5-men get this tower as well. Otherwise, they'll never be able to interrupt those stacks. They won't get it this day.
Yeah, and Ace does have this Midas, so he is going to keep up in terms of farm. And I think this is like one of the heroes that actually really benefits from Midas. The attack speed is nice, but also just the levels of this hero that you get. All the levels you can get are very useful for CKS. He's not really the fastest farmer. And yeah, I mean, this is something that you definitely can do nowadays. With the cooldown on Phantasm only being 75 seconds, you can kind of just use it whenever you want to just farm.
Yeah, and we even see a lot of the CKs now take the duration at 20 as well. Just gives you that uptime to actually like feel a bit like a pseudo Naga Siren, shall we say, where you just absorb the entire jungle. And I wish I crit like this guy. 30% chance. That's not how it works when I'm playing here. You're just there, you're like priming it. I guess I'm still priming it, but do I need to refund this product? Doesn't seem to work.
They've changed CK so many times with this Chaos Strike, how it works, right? It's been like changed so many times.
Yes, I personally love the guaranteed hit. It's like that was
Right.
support CK time. And then they gave him his Reality Rift reduced armor back.
Boom here.
Oh.
Gets fuel stopped by Jesse.
Yep. Boom is gonna shatter. Not really go boom, but just fall to pieces. Jesse doesn't care. Shad, however, is trying to make life a nuisance for Pylai Die. He just doesn't have the damage to kill him off before he TPs out. But with them using the Roll of Thunder, I mean, Vikin, they have a choice to make. Do I farm more stacks or do I push a tier 1 tower? Because either
I'm a
is
little bit
feasible.
curious there that Shad didn't pursue the Tango there. I
Yeah.
felt like he knew that the roly-poly was down, so I feel like you can just pursue, especially when you have an IO and this face boots SNY. You're gonna be able to run down any hero.
Roly-poly to oopsie-whoopsie, because instead of just pushing
Jesse?
a tower, they move back towards their
Nice
jungle
control
where they
here.
actually find a worthwhile target. This A for Remnant from Aramis is already putting some work in. And it is just one of those spells that gets so frustrating as well, right? Like max duration at 1.8. And at that point, when Chessie has that maxed out, you can have the Arcade Supremacy maxed out. It's more than enough time to kill off an elusive hero like Chessie.
Yeah, definitely a nice steal there for Aramis.
It's actually one of those dreaded heroes when you're playing as a Void Spirit, right? Because he has his own setup that makes your setup look bad, unless, of course, you got Yules on a VS. Because he's going to lift you, and then he's just going to throw a Remnant right where you're going to land.
Yeah, and like we see that Chessie, he gets off to these good starts sometimes, but I feel like there's this tendency where he gets kind of ahead a little bit, and then, I don't know, he has some of these, like, once he dies once, he usually ends up dying quite a few more times, and
It's I think the best way to kind of compare, like, kind of measure it is like Chessie is a player, very mechanically gifted, proves himself time and time again. This is the type of guy you often see win his lane. Maybe it's the what comes next that is the part that usually we have to criticize, though.
I feel like he's kind of a momentum-based type of person or player, or whatever you want to call it. It's like, you know, like as long as he has the wind in his back, then he's good. But if there's a little bit of wind from the front, then things can get rough. Yeah. Misery has been finding quite a lot of farm this game already with the Meteor Hammer, and yeah, I mean he's almost up there with Boom, who's kind of taking a more of a backseat in this game, and just, yeah, I mean Shad being the true position 1 in this game. Face boots, SNY, double Wraithband wand, and almost a completed BKB. Tuning up the butterfly, he's gonna be dealing a lot of damage this game.
Does it feel like Boom kind of maybe cut his game off a little bit too prematurely, or was that more just credit to Chessie and his moves to make sure that was the case?
I think it was due to the fact that Toby was struggling so much in the bottom lane, as well as the fact that Chessie was having a good time. So I think he felt that he had to find another kind of purpose so that Toby could have somewhat of a game. But I think at this point, I mean, Toby's not really going to have a game. He's going to be a Roar and some Hawks and some Auras.
Speaking of Boom, he's forced to fight into his face. Gyrocopter is here. The Ice Blast through. Does connect onto both of them. Chessie's going to pursue for the kill on the Boom. The cooldown from Shad does nothing.
Yeah, Shad didn't really want to commit there, as he had received a debuff, and his BKB was not ready yet, so he doesn't really want to die. Like, he doesn't want to commit to a fight before he has this BKB. It's going to get finished right now after this camp, and I think now you can, as Gyro, you can just look to fight pretty much anything or anyone. Of course, the CK now has his Halberd, so he's going to be a bit more difficult to deal with. And I mean, just the innate HP pool of CK is quite scary.
Yeah. And once again, that I'm coming up against the ranged hero is maybe another part of why we don't see as much Gyro at the moment, is Heaven's Halberd is just such a juicy item against this hero. I guess luckily the difference is when you're talking about Gyro is this is a hero that is very comfortable in building BKB as well as stats resistance with both like the Sanj and Yasha and the Satanic.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, both of those items are very nice additions to Gyro's items. They're just gonna keep farming here. It just feels like, I mean, it's just gonna be 4 support basically this game.
Yeah.
However, on the side of 5-man, I mean, they don't really have, like, they have the CK is gonna be the core, right? But it's pretty much like 4 protect 1 versus 4 protect 1, with 5-man having a bit more net worth on their position 2 and 3, and Viking having a fatter carry, a bigger carry.
Yeah, it's the consistency of that as well, right? Like, you have to kind of look in this game. Ace is a bit like a Dragon Knight, right? If he uses Phantasm and then like dies, there's no kind of come back into the fight opportunity for a buyback. You have to be very decisive, and that's one way to be decisive.
Very interesting choice here. I mean, if they manage to do it, they're gonna get scouted now though by this curve. They should know.
They're not
here.
even quick.
Viking.
Boom.
Misery
Finds Misery. Dive away in time though. Boom just did not have the damage. And they might ball. They actually look for a kill instead. They're actually going to go for Chessie. Lifted up in the air. They're trying to burn for him, but they cannot. BKB's been activated by Shad. Cellier's been separated from his target. He's going to reload out. Chad's going to hang around because Aramis did get the steal on the Roll Thunder. Ace down to half HP already. The Phantasm army's already gone because he committed to try and bring down Roche. And with the home missile following in, that should be long enough of a stun to kill off the CK. He's just trying to punish Toby a little bit, but there's no way they can do that. Seabay's also going to die, and all of a sudden, Viking could consider just going in and finishing off Roche.
Yeah, that's why I feel like the decision was kind of strange. I think they knew that Viking were kind of close, and so they commit to this Roche with the Phantasm, and then once they decide, okay, we can't do it, we're spotted, then there's not much duration left on the Phantasm.
Oh no.
He's gonna try this.
He baited himself in. Shad gets the Aegis and they get the kill, and they'll find Pylai die as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like the roly-poly gets stolen, and the Rubik kind of just rolls over everyone in like the CK and all of these heroes. And I feel like five men were in a pretty good position, but they kind of just gave the game away.
Yeah, this is kind of like a snowball moment that you can very much foresee in the next 5 minutes, where Viking, like, the grip around the map is going to tighten towards five men's base as they start to just erase these towers. And now look at the net worth difference between Shad and Ace.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's up 4K, and I mean, there's no reason for them to stop kind of running at
No. Not
five
with the
men.
Ace.
They're gonna get picked up. He has to dodge this. Yes, he does.
Shad's holding
Might
that
get the
BKB
IO here.
though. Yep, IO is down, but Ace is losing way too much health right now. They have no way of stopping him. They have to try and ignore Gyro and bring down everyone else. But the Crown Royal goes out to Chessie. BKB from Shad. Moving forward, trying for the kill. The home missile to follow through on a Chessie. But he dodges it out with the Assimilate successfully. The Shad just trying to right-click him down with Flat Cannon. The jumping from Boom is good enough. And the Void Spirit is gone. And he's not done. Shad says, what? Tier 2 tab? Don't worry. I got a second life. I'm a tanky boy. Seabait doesn't have that same honor, though. As Toby's going to try and finish him off with the axes through. It's close, but he gets to the deny on the neutrals. And on the back line, Boom's still good. He finally finds a delicious bird to eat. Pylai Die does manage to TP out successfully here. But this is probably going to be a tier 1 and a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, I mean, Shad doesn't really have to stop for anyone. He can just keep going. He has the Aegis. He's got the BKB. Doesn't really have to worry. The AA blast not even gonna connect. And this Gyro he's starting to get dangerously close to this butterfly already, and it's gonna be quite a while before this CK can afford an MKB. I mean, he's trying to queue up this BKB here.
I'm just looking at the net worth difference and how that has suddenly dipped. It doesn't look like a very fun slide for your ass to go down, but five men, they've had to take that dive. I just hope they don't break their legs at the end, because it's still climbing at an equal rate. Oh yeah, the win probability is pretty much there as well. Don't you just love it when all the graphs line up consistently? But quite rightly so, right? Like, there was always this concern that if the CK falls behind, that's where he's gonna stay, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, keeping up with the Gyro, like, if you ever get behind this Gyro, like, the thing, Gyro Wisp, right? You're just so mobile. You can kind of farm. I mean, you can farm so much of the map so quickly, right? And you can just be everywhere. And so it is. I mean, it's just impossible for a CK to just keep up with the Gyro if he ever gets ahead just a little bit like this.
I have to give so much credit as well to the dedication to stacking from Celery and Chad in that top lane. Like that,
yeah, I mean,
that
Celery's
was
done a great job for sure.
From the level 1 overcharge to his ability to click on creeps at the right time.
Yeah, this is a butterfly S and YBKB Gyro now. Even still with the Aegis, I think you can try to take any fight. You know, you can look for whatever objective, whatever fight you want to take. It's just go for it.
Also, look at Boom.
Not...
Boom's caught up, right?
Yeah.
Considering how he was.
Yeah, he also has. I mean, he got a little bit lucky here with the Imp Claw. He also now has a double damage on top of this Echo Saber. So this is a very scary Tiny right now.
You probably commit on CK if you can find him. They're pinging it out right now. Ace needs to get out of here quick. Misery. I like that he's holding this position. He wants to actually see how much room Ace has to work with. Although this feels like they're actually trying to make some sort of bait player now. But Misery does get out.
Yeah, very close call there. If that tree finds Misery, then he's just gonna throw the stun there too, and that's a dead bird, but he makes it out alive.
Yeah, and more importantly, let's force Viking back to their side of the map, so it allows five men to now get out on the map again a little bit, and also slow down these pushes towards their base.
Yeah, I think the Aegis is gonna be reclaimed kind of soonish, and also Void Spirit he's getting very close now. He's gonna have, he has the gold for his axe. pretty much 200 more gold, and then he's gonna have it. So
And when
at
you look
least
at
something
Vikin,
coming up for them.
they've only got one BKB still, right? Like Toby is getting close, but
Yeah, and Boom is also getting kind of close. Those
there's
BKBs
still
are
like
gonna be
maybe
coming out.
2 free fights before that comes online, depending on how you play this.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way it looks right now. I think they're just gonna up their BKBs before they do anything. Aegis does get reclaimed, but yeah, they don't really have to. Viking don't really have to force anything right now. They can just chill, just farm the map the way they want to, and yeah, just wait for their BKBs. I mean, there's no real rush. They can just take fights whenever they want to, right? They can push in the lanes. They can get vision with their hawk, and then just take fights on your own terms.
Oh, the onus really is on 5 men. Once again, we're just seeing the advantage you have, like with a Beastmaster, whether you're behind or ahead, it's especially noticeable when you're ahead, is any move that 5 men wants to make is very predictable because of that additional vision you get as Viking.
Yeah, it becomes really difficult to find moves against this Beastmaster hero, especially when you're behind, right? You need to get out on the map, but it's scary to show anywhere, and they don't have, aside from Void Spirit, they don't have the best way of clearing waves. Misery did go for that Meteor Hammer, so he has some way of doing it, but it's definitely not that easy for them.
It's got the yours as well, so you have that potential like opening stun from Misery where you can dive in, yours, Meteor Hammer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are smoked up right now. They're looking for just about anyone who will show their face, but if it's the gyro they find, I feel like that could be a pretty difficult kill. I mean, it's very difficult to find a stun on that gyro before he gets to press his BKB, so...
No, and also now there's a smoke from Viking, so they'll show Shad, but this is just a dangle. If you bite, you're going to be the ones who actually end up with a big chomp out of the side of you.
Yeah, Boom here now with the Orb of Destruction. Oh, he's going to be dealing a lot of damage too here.
They're not going to go up into the high ground, though. We've seen way too many replays to end poorly that way. And actually, Misery's already reading it. He's like, do not go into this area of the map right now. They're on the lower side. But Boom leads up. Sees an opportunity to walk in. Smoke is going to break. They do see Chess. He's able to blink, move away, though, with a Dissimulate. Toby doesn't have any sort of initiation tool, so he can't get close enough for a primal roar.
And another double damage for Tiny.
Wow. That's so nice when you got your Orb of Destruction, you hit like a beast already, and now the world is your oyster. And if you're a 5-man hero and you see that, all of a sudden you may need to change your pants. Misery might need to change his life insurance right now because he's dead.
That is one dead bird.
Primal Roar maybe not needed as Aramis was there, but better safe than sorry.
I mean, Primal Roar is fine to use. I'm just thinking, do you really have to pop the DD there as Tiny? But, you know, it just looks cool. And, of course, the Gyro now finds a Paladin Sword. Just, I mean...
Oh, yes.
An excellent item for Gyro. He actually does not go for it, though.
No, he's given a Celery.
To have the... Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, okay. So the IO at least will be able to amplify the healing. I think it's fine. And he's going to keep this Mindbreaker here.
There's also a lot of extra damage out of the flat cannon now, right? Because, like, if you look, there's not many heroes on the side of 5 men that are going to build BKB.
Yeah. And that's going to be an MKB flying out now for the Gyro. So the evasion from the Halberd kind of gets nullified. Ace trying to work on his own MKB so that he can try to kill this Gyro, but...
Trying the keyword.
It's, yeah, he's still quite far away.
Jesse's in a bit of trouble. Ice Blast to try and bail him out, but they don't care about it. They move forward. Right on top. I mean, he's got cooldowns to work with. The Dissimulate's about to come off cooldown, but he can't get it off in time. The silence from Shad made the right choice in keeping that Mindbreaker. Reload. Poor Pi. There is nowhere to run.
Highlight die. You are in trouble, my friend. You are in so much trouble.
Not just him, though. Look who else they found waiting on the runes. Seabait. He'll get his ult off. The Primal Roar is available again, and reinforcements are incoming. I don't know. Maybe he gets away with the TP out. Just enough time left. But now you have no Roll of Thunder.
It doesn't look like they're going to be fighting anytime soon.
I mean, the base wishes that they would.
They do manage to bring the Gyro quite low there. He does not have an Aegis or a Satanic, so...
No, Celery even had to use
Just
the
have to get
salve.
healed up a little bit. But yeah, now we see the Paladin sword on the IO there, just providing a lot of regen for Gyro.
I kind of like this because you know when we talk about Paladin Sword, just even like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we wouldn't really talk about it as like the regeneration outside of lifesteal, right? It was always the carries item. But we're seeing teams use it a lot more on these healing
And
type
Roche
supports.
just spawns. Yeah, no, I mean the Paladin sword can be used for multiple, like, in multiple ways, not just the physical damage. I do assume that like once he gets Satanic, they might still just switch this unless he finds something a lot better. But for now, he's gonna have this Aegis, and that's just gonna be one tough fight for 5 men to take.
Yeah, and they're out their base right now. Toby has got the Primal Roar, but the Revenant will slow him down. However, Aramis does get the lift and the jumping on the chassis with the Primal Roar coming out. That Sunray is not going to save his life. They move on. Cooldowns don't look at explosions. Toby gets dragged in, but the BKB protects him. Pylite Die will TP away. Ace, though, he could be in trouble here. He says, "Jar, get in there. Force that BKB out of his ass." And now you have no BKB on your carry to defend base. No Phantasm for 60 seconds.
Shattered does not want to back down here.
He's like, toss
He
me
wants
again,
to
toss
go
me
in.
again. I can't, buddy. I'm busy tossing misery. Uh-oh. If he gets hit once, yep, he has to. BKB, and that is going to be a sad Phoenix. And the stolen Sunray as well. Sure, why not? It's not like you've already got enough sustain on the side of Vikin.
And I mean, Shad here is just he's putting on a clinic, showing how it's done.
Boom. Sending him treats. What a wonderful relationship they have. Shad stands his ground. Ace extremely low, no Phantasm. And he's trying to chain stun, but it won't work. The cooldown kills him off. The Aegis has been taken away, though. The buyback will come out, but no Phantasm still for 10 seconds. Avalanche toss, jump in, and Misery's gone. That's going to be his dieback. Dead for a long time. Shad disarmed, has to stand his ground and fight. Tether in with the mech, heals good. The Primal Roar goes out to Ace. No chance to use the Phantasm because he's coming too low. They're going to be able to kill him off, and he's down. Dieback is there. The GG comes out, and yes, 5 men may be made up of Scandinavians, but we know who the true Vikings are here.
Yeah, I mean that was quite a beating after that one Roche call. I think that Roche call, I mean, it definitely cost them the game. 5 men there. I think they had the. I'm not sure if they're still gonna win that game. I still think I favor Viking, even though they were down like 2K or something. I still think their chances going later into the game is they're still quite good. But yeah, 5 men with that weird Roche call just kind of throwing the game out the window and into the arms of Viking.
Yeah, and they were ready and waiting for that to be thrown their way, right? Like, look at Shad's performance in the end. 10-0-11. Doesn't give over a single death. And you know, he made it look easy, but in fairness, you are up against this AA factor, right? So it's very hard to just outright rely on this outright sustain that the IO usually provides in games.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Celery played also really well on the IO, like all the stacks in the beginning, and also just kind of keeping his gyro safe. I also just like how the way Shad was playing after that. He just like once he had his items, it was just like go go go, and he's not stopping. And yeah, solid performance. Also, like Toby managed to kind of recover thanks to his team finding ways for him to, finding lanes for him to sit in. So some good communication there and good
that's a
ideas.
risky move, right? Like usually the kind of argument that gets made is if you lose one lane, whatever, you can still win off 2. But it's not easy for teams to pull off what Viking done there, where they give that switch around, and we saw that did present opportunities for 5 men to take control of this game. That's why we talked about that Roche situation you mentioned, where that was kind of the passing over the game into Vikings' favor.
Yeah, they had to make some room for the Beastmaster to find a 6, and yeah, I mean the Tiny was struggling quite a while there. They were down a bit, but in the end, yeah, 5 men kind of just gave the game away. I mean, it would have been interesting to see kind of how the game had gone if they hadn't just taken this weird Roche. The game probably would have gone on for quite a lot longer, but it's hard to say if they can actually still win this game.
Yeah, it's always a tough one. You're always up against a Gyro Eye in that late game. And as a result, Viking take a victory over 5 men. And we're going to move on to the next series. We just had EU versus EU, so it only seems fair to the CIS boys that we focus on them next. As up next on this channel in about 10-15 minutes, we're going to have Khan versus Team Empire for you, so stay tuned.